The star to end Roman Reigns' historic title reign, 30-year-old star attacked for threatening Logan Paul and his fiancée. Randy Orton's WWE return spoiler. Randy Orton's return will get spoiled. CM Punk. Will the elders in the Bloodline send Roman Reigns another blessing after WWE crown jewel setback? Solo Sikoa slowly replacing Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns was The Rock, the biggest WrestleMania match of all time. Let's jump right into it. 30-year-old star attacked for threatening Logan Paul and his fiancée. Fans weren't happy after a controversial star took a shot at Logan Paul and his fiancée on his Twitter handle. Dillon Danis hounded Paul and his partner Nina Agdal for weeks on the road to their boxing match. In the end, it was the Maverick who came out victorious over Danis. The latter is still going at it on Twitter and takes occasional shots at the WWE United States champion. Logan Paul is currently in attendance at UFC 295 with Nina Agdal. Interestingly, Dillon Danis is also in attendance at the event. Mere minutes ago, Danis noticed that Paul and Agdal had arrived at the event. He retweeted the video and took a massive shot at the couple. Fans weren't happy with his tweet and slammed him in the comments. Dillon Danis left no stone unturned while targeting Nina Agdal and Paul on Twitter ahead of their boxing fight. He spent weeks on end sharing pictures of Agdal with her ex-partners and other celebs. After Paul defeated Danis, he apologized to Agdal for accepting the fight. "I lied in the build-up when I said that I didn't regret choosing him, Danis, as a fighting partner. I'm eternally sorry for Nina. I'll spend the rest of my life apologizing if I have to for putting her through that kind of torment. It's just inhumane what he did. She'll hold him accountable, but this is my life, and I dragged her into this social media fight boast, and she did not sign up for this. I mean, she did, but she didn't know, and neither did I. I don't think anyone knew the extent to which he would take things." After defeating Dillon Danis, Paul challenged Rey Mysterio to a US title match. The duo battled in a singles match at WWE Crown Jewel 2023, with Paul defeating the Hall of Famer to win the coveted belt. Share your reactions to Danis' latest jibe at Paul and Nina Agdal. Randy Orton's WWE return spoiler. Randy Orton has been away from the WWE ring since May 2022. Recent reports state that the Viper may return to the Stamford-based promotion soon. Orton competed in his last match alongside Matt Riddle for the Undisputed Tag Team Championships on the May 2022 episode of SmackDown. Orton and Riddle lost the match to the Usos, allowing the heels to unify the Raw and SmackDown Tag Team titles. While WWE has released Matt Riddle from the company, fans could see Randy Orton return to the ring soon. A recent report from Fightful Select stated that the Viper could come back as early as the upcoming Survivor Series War Games Premium Live event. The PLE could feature Orton in the men's War Games match. Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, Seth Rollins, and Sami Zayn could welcome him on their team to take on the Judgment Day inside the cage. The plan since this summer for the babyface side was a returning Randy Orton, with a reveal tentatively planned before the day of the show was to avoid any CM Punk speculation. Fightful Select. Randy Orton's inclusion would definitely make the entire match even more special. Rhodes, Rollins, Uso, and Zayn are four of the biggest male stars on the WWE roster. Adding Orton to the mix would make the side very strong. WWE could announce Orton's inclusion into the match before the Survivor Series War Games to avoid any CM Punk speculation. The announcement will also bring more eyeballs to the PLE. The men's Survivor Series War Games match currently has 4 members on each side. The creative team could look to add 1 member to each side to make the match more interesting. Fightful Select has reported that Randy Orton could join the babyface team for the show. On the other hand, the same report states that Drew McIntyre could join Judgment Day on the heel side. Rhea Ripley has been trying to get the Scottish Warrior on her side for some time. The report further states that McIntyre will be featured in the Survivor Series War Games contest. It was reported by Wrestling Observer Newsletter this week that Drew McIntyre was being considered for WWE War Game. But beyond that, we've actually heard that's been the working plan for the match for months now. Specifically, McIntyre has been planned for the heel/Judgment Day side of things, making it a 5-man team. WWE may look to make this year's War Games match the biggest of all time. Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre's inclusion will bolster the overall contest. Do you want to see the Viper return during the cage match? Randy Orton's return will get spoiled. CM Punk. WWE Universe thinks a returning former WWE World Heavyweight Champion will reign on Randy Orton's parade on the November 25th Premium Live event. This year's Survivor Series will feature the return of the barbaric structure known as War Game. Following the chaos that ensued on Raw this week, Adam Pearce announced a War Games match pitting the Judgment Day, Damian Priest, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and JD McDonough against the team of Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, and Jey Uso. However, the War Games matches traditionally feature 5 men on each side. Recent reports have suggested that Drew McIntyre, who's on the brink of turning heel, could finally join forces with the Judgment Day while Randy Orton aligns himself with the baby faces. While nothing is set in stone yet, this would make the most logical booking sense since the Viper is reportedly slated for Survivor Series War Games. Interestingly, he's not the only one heavily linked with a return in Chicago this year. Speculation has been rife about CM Punk coming coming back to WWE in front of his home crowd. That said, some fans believe the straight-edge superstar will take away the Apex Predator's spotlight by showing up during the closing moments of the marquee show. Speaking on the recent edition of Sportskeeda's The Wrestling Outlaws, EC3 expressed his desire to see the Legend Killer turn heel and renew an old rivalry with Seth freaking Rollins. Let that run for a few months, and then Randy Orton is also a sinister guy. Just turn him into a heel, then he can work with Rollins. Now you've got another program. That's good business because I would be down to see both of those matches. You got a guy like Randy Orton with fresh legs, rejuvenated, been gone for a little bit. There's no creative stink in it. It's almost like a clean slate. He's retcon, but he's still a legend. He's still one of the best, which is truly a gift. The Visionary is riding high as the World Heavyweight Champion, having recently defeated Drew McIntyre at WWE Crown Jewel 2023. If Orton comes back, he could pose a serious threat to Rollins' fairy tale run. Are you looking forward to seeing Randy Orton back in the ring? Will the Elders in the Bloodline send Roman Reigns another blessing after WWE Crown Jewel setback? When all the odds seem to be stacked against Roman Reigns at WWE Clash at the Castle 2022, he had unexpected support from Solo Sikoa. The powerful NXT star made his main roster debut by helping the Tribal Chief stand tall over Drew McIntyre. This was allegedly a gift from the Elders within the Bloodline. At Crown Jewel this year, Reigns nearly lost the coveted, undisputed WWE Universal Championship to LA Knight. While he had some help, the head of the table barely held onto his prized title. If that wasn't worrying enough, LA Knight is seemingly game for a rematch. As a result, it may be time for the Elders to bless Roman Reigns with further backup. This time around, the legendary figures could send Lance Anoa'i to World Wrestling Entertainment. It was recently revealed that the Stanford-based promotion officials had wanted Lance and Jacob Fadu to appear in a segment earlier this year. Unfortunately, neither man could attend due to a contract with Major League Wrestling. Now that Lance is free of any contractual issues, he could be sent in to join the Bloodline and help the faction dominate WWE for years to come. LA Knight may never dethrone Reigns if the Elders have it their way. Whether Lance arrives in World Wrestling Entertainment remains to be seen for now. Still, the core members of the Bloodline continue to be a dominant force on television, with 3 of the 4 set to appear next week. Jimmy Uso has an announced match. He will go one-on-one with LA Knight. This will be the 3rd time the megastar and the former undisputed WWE Tag Team Champion will clash in a singles match on television, and stems from Knight making it clear that he still intends to dethrone Roman Reigns. Additionally, Jimmy Uso's brother, Solo Sikoa, will be returning to the Blue brand next week. His return was officially announced on this past week's show, with Paul Heyman pictured alongside the dominant Solo, hinting that both men will appear. This will be Sikoa's first appearance following the Crown Jewel event where he battled John Cena. Not only did Solo win the bout, but he obliterated and even potentially retired the legend. Notably, Roman Reigns is not listed to appear on Friday night's SmackDown next week. While WWE could always surprise fans, it is assumed that he won't be appearing in any form for a handful of weeks, as he isn't featured in any Survivor Series War Games promotion. Solo Sikoa slowly replacing Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns appears to be on a WWE hiatus again, as the Tribal Chief is not currently advertised for any upcoming shows or premium live events, except for WrestleMania 40. However, despite his absence, the recent Fallout show of SmackDown following Crown Jewel seemingly featured a reference to Reigns through the graphics template used for Solo Sikoa. For those unaware, after a dominant victory against John Cena at Crown Jewel, the Bloodline Enforcer was absent from the latest edition of the Blue brand. However, WWE announced during the show that Sikoa would be making his return next week on Friday nights. Notably, the graphics used to advertise Sikoa's return resembled those typically used for Roman Reigns' appearances on SmackDown. Fans quickly noticed the similarity, leading to comparisons between the Bloodline Enforcer and the undisputed Universal Champion. Some fans also criticized the treatment, suggesting that Sikoa, after his victory over Cena, was receiving similar high-status treatment to Roman Reigns. The unfolding Bloodline saga in the coming weeks will be intriguing, especially as the Bloodline leader is expected to be absent for the rest of 2023. The Tribal Chief is now anticipated to return to the ring at next year's Royal Rumble Premium Live event. Speculation suggests that his next challenger will be none other than AJ Styles, who is reportedly making a comeback soon on the Blue brand. The potential reason behind the Phenomenal One becoming the next challenger for Reigns' undisputed Universal title is an angle that unfolded the last time Styles was on television. During his last appearance, Styles fell victim to a backstage assault by members of the Samoan faction on SmackDown, creating a compelling storyline for him to challenge Reigns in the upcoming title defense, likely at Royal Rumble 2024. A feud between Styles and Roman Reigns would undoubtedly excite fans given their history of delivering great matches in the company. For those unaware, Royal Rumble 2024 is scheduled to take place on Saturday, January 27, 2024 at Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. However, with Roman currently absent from television, a potential scenario that could unfold might involve Styles confronting the members of the Bloodline, setting the stage for a match between Reigns and Styles for the undisputed Universal Championship in the near future. Additionally, next week's scheduled match between Jimmy Uso and LA Knight may see the return of AJ Styles, seeking revenge for the attack he suffered, potentially costing Jimmy in the process. It will be interesting to see what the company has in store for us in upcoming shows amid the possibility of Styles' return. Roman Reigns gives The Rock the biggest WrestleMania match of all time. Former WWE manager Dutch Mantel, also known as Zeb Coulter, believes Roman Reigns versus The Rock could be the greatest WrestleMania match of all time. Fans have been salivating at the thought of the two megastars colliding ever since Reigns turned heel and proclaimed himself as the head of the table. While the story between the two writes itself, the match has not come to fruition because of the Great One's busy schedule. Dutch Mantel recently appeared on Sportskeeda Wrestling's Smack Talk, where the host Mac Davis asked him about a possible match between Roman Reigns and The Rock. The veteran noted that while currently no signs points towards a showdown between the two, if WWE can pull it off, it could be the biggest WrestleMania ever. They haven't even alluded to that. I think they would have alluded to it more by now, but that is the ultimate WrestleMania, because I think Roman wants to do something that was never been done before. I think this would be the biggest WrestleMania they ever could have if they go with The Rock and Roman Reigns. The Rock recently returned to WWE programming for a one-off appearance. He even teased a match against his cousin at WrestleMania 40. The start and Roman Reigns' historic title reign. Former WWE manager Dutch Mantel, also known as Zeb Coulter, believes Cody Rhodes will be the one to eventually dethrone Roman Reigns. The tribal chief has been at the top for over 3 years, during which he has taken down a plenitude of big names. Cody came closest to usurping the head of the table, but he was stopped in his tracks by Solo Sikoa. Despite the setback, Dutch Mantel believes that the American Nightmare will be the one to end Roman Reigns' historic reign. The wrestling veteran explained the reason during his chat with Mac Davis on Sportskeeda Wrestling's Smack Talk. It looks like Cody Rhodes. I've said this in another interview I did. Cody Rhodes, when he broke his shoulder, it was actually beneficial to him, even though he had a bad injury that gave WWE the time for Endeavor to take over the company and for Vince to be looped over. So he was out for 8 to 9 months, and all you heard about was he's coming back. He continued, "While he was gone, I think the people kind of want you back, and they wanted him back. They really did. And you come back, and now they have an idea in their head that they want to go with Cody." Cody Rhodes recently came face to face with Roman Reigns for the first time since their match at WrestleMania 39. It seems like WWE is planning another showdown between the two next year.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for